exactly what Proctor needed. Hopefully he can get off his own personal slump that he's been in.
Absolutely. He took a few extra rounds of BP yesterday, too. The 1-0. A strike. That one outside corner around chest level. Fastball. 1-1 count. To his credit, being an experienced guy out here in the CCBL, isn't overly concerned about the fact that he's off to a slow start, and that's mainly because he's been putting balls in play. The 1-1. Slapped foul. That one just down the third base side, out of play.
Proctor does have a run batted in this year, and he's drawn 2 walks, so he's been getting on base a couple of times. He's just got to put the ball where the fielders are not standing.
Reese Hampton stands on second base. The middle, back on the outfield grass is the second baseman, Shaw. Nick Patton shaded behind first base, almost on the outfield grass himself, just a bit up the line. The 1-2. Slapped on the ground over towards Shaw, who gobbles up, bobbles the ball, throws over to Patton at first, and gets the out as Reese Hampton advances to third. There's 2 away.
That was good composure by Shaw to not panic and to find that ball again and make a good throw over to first to get the second out. But the runner does move over, as you mentioned, so Harborhawks can score early here. That would be great for them.
And they have Brandon Donovan at the plate to do just that. Righty on the mound, another lefty at the dish. The first pitch. That one in on the hands and sky down the third base line. Ashton McGee ranges over from the hot corner to make the final out. And after a leadoff double, the Harborhawks can't scratch a run across. We'll be back for the bottom half of the first inning after a quick break. Jake Palamaki, Josh Shaw, and Jacob Olson due up for the Chatham Mays. We'll be back for that and so much more when we return on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harborhawks Digital Network. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner, over to my right. I'm Chris Lucy, and on the mound for the Harborhawks to start things off here in the bottom half of the first inning is an old favorite. That would be right-hander Ryan Weiss.
Weiss, 6'4", 210, the righty from South Elgin, Illinois. He's the junior at Wright State. He did pitch 4 innings. He started the game. He did not give up a run. Only 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. That was versus Wareham. 2.13 ERA this year at school with 8-1 record. 14 games started. He had 1 complete game, and he threw nearly 90 innings. Second team All Mid-East region. Horizon League Freshman of the Year this year. 13th player in Wright State history to go All Region.
And he did have himself a good performance to start things off this season. He pitched those 4 scoreless innings to start off the season for the Hyannis Harborhawks against the Wareham Gatemen. He stands out on the mound, donning the blue away jerseys of the Hyannis Harborhawks, orange sleeves with orange lettering, orange billed caps with a blue body to the cap, and he'll start things off against Jake Palamaki, the left fielder coming up to bat in white pinstriped pants with dark blue jerseys, white lettering with some red trim to that lettering.
Palamaki goes to the school your brother went to, Boston College.
The school my brother just graduated from this past spring. Shout out to James if you're tuned in. First pitch. Palmaki squares around for a bunt, bounces it off home plate.
So Palomaki went 281 with his average this year. Had 9 extra base hits, 36 hits in total, and 17 runs batted in. Good season.
Very good season, albeit shortened by injury. Missed 13 games due to a hurt hamstring. He stands in the lefty batter's box and waves at strike 2. A nice fastball from the righty on the mound.
And it's going to be important for the pitching to be good again for Hyannis. They scored 6 yesterday, but, we haven't figured out if this is going to be a mainstay, so the pitching still has to be airtight like it's been.
The 0-2. Slapped on a line, foul down the left field line, out of play. Count remains 0-2, and like you said, the pitching has been a constant, but hitting not so much, although Reese Hampton got things started with that leadoff double. The Harbor Hawks couldn't get him across, only advancing him to third. And the next pitch is sent on a line into right field and through for a base hit. Palomaki rounds first. He goes all the way over to second. Olenek gathering the ball in right field, throwing in behind the head-first slide of Jake Palomaki, who's safe at second base with a double.
Similar starts for both teams, 2 leadoff doubles. And so we're still all even. The A's got out of the jam in the first, so why not Hyannis? Good start, though, for both teams.
Indeed, and now we have our first right-handed batter for the Chatham A's. That's Josh Shaw. He comes in with the aforementioned Palomaki, taking a 2-step lead off of second base. Shadows now starting to seep over into right field. The pitch. High and outside, 1-0 count. A big glare coming, however, from left field. The sun yet to dip below the tree line, so it's just getting the inner parts of the infield and just right field still in the sun. Left and center almost completely covered, except for a little sliver of sun out right center field way, as the 1-0 pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Nice little off-speed offering from Weiss.
I think the only people that are being affected are the two of us. We are being the most affected by the sun right now.
That's true. We'll have to make our switch from sunglasses to normal glasses later in this game, but not quite yet, as the 1-1 is fisted over down first base. Donovan fields it and fires over to a covering Weiss, who touches the bag for the first out of the inning.
I don't have real glasses.
Oh, well, excuse me. Okay. Good for you.
I don't have any glasses to use.
Well, I'll be throwing mine on for probably the latter 4.5 of this game when you take over play-by-play.
But I'll tell you what, it's nice. It's sunny today.
It is.
For once.
It is. Jake Olson now in the right-handed batter's box takes an off-speed pitch over the outside corner for strike 1. Palomaki advanced over to third base on the 3-1. One away here in the bottom of the first.
Olson goes to South Carolina as well. Hit .294 this past season.
Yo, 1. Breaking ball, missing just a little bit low. Evens the count at 1-1.
Now, Chris Olson was drafted in 2016 by the Diamondbacks in the 39th round.
That's right, after a very successful junior college season. The 1-1. Hit on the ground down third base way. Jalila ranges over towards the line, but it dribbles foul. Olson still in the righty batter's box. 1-2 count. Runner on third base is Palomaki. And that's strike 3 on the 1-2 offering from Weiss. He freezes Jacob Olson for the second out.
Olson didn't like the call. Took a look back at home plate umpire Rick Cacciatore. But still 2 away.
And that brings up Nick Patton, the dangerous cleanup hitter for the A's. He has been a terror so far in this Cape Cod League season.
Goes to Delaware. He's a big guy, 264, 205. He can hit the ball for sure.
Leading the league in average. Takes the first pitch, ball low and away. Batting .538 on the young season, 13 at bats. Also 2 home runs. Both of those came against the Wareham Gatemen, the team the Harbor Hawks beat 6-2 last night.
Well, he's no stranger to homers. He had 14 for Delaware this season.
And he takes a 1-0 strike over the outside corner at knee level. 1-1, 2 down. Jake Palamaki on third base. He reached with a leadoff double. Since then, there's been a ground out and a strikeout. Advanced him all the way over there, but Weiss trying to get out of the first inning with no runs across the board. And the 1-1 is slipped foul just down the first base side, out of play.
Patton also stole 8 bases, so he's not just a power hitter. He does it all.
He really does. And at the right time, too. He was named to the All-Lubbock Regional Team in the run-up to the College World Series. 1-2. That one just missing, low and away. Looked like he froze up the big righty. No dice. 2-2 count. 2 down. Jake Palamaki taking the lead off of third base, creeping in towards home. He's the only base runner on with 2 outs. The pitch. Foul tip. That one just getting away from Proctor. The sure-handed catcher out of Duke, unable just to grip that one.
Now, who do you think early in the season, catcher-wise, has the edge?
Well, it has to be Proctor because he's been a stalwart behind the plate, and he also has a hit. Don DiCaprio has yet to break the curse here in the CCBL. And now the 2-2. Hit on the ground up the middle. Proctor ranges over to his right. Fires on the run. Did he get the out? The umpires are deliberating still.
No, the ball went into the dugout.
It went into the dugout. Oh, my.
Went
That
over
one,
the head of Donovan.
that one flew away from Donovan. I couldn't see that in the sunlight. It flies into the Harbor Hawks dugout. Donovan unable to make the play, and Jake Palamaki comes home from third to score, and over to second base goes Nick Patton.
Well, it'll go as an error on Donovan, but it was exactly the reason we can't see balls hit to left field. That sun was right in his eyes. He ducked because he couldn't see the throw, and that's just the sun giving Chatham the lead right there.
Indeed, and a runner on second base with 2 down, and Ashton McGee at the left side takes a first pitch strike, low and away. A 1 count. McGee, a terror in his freshman season at UNC this year.
Had 7 home runs, 73 hits, hit 327.
Now he stands in the lefty batter's box, swings and misses. Batted strike 2.
But he did strike out 57 times, which happens when you get a lot of at bats. You hit 7 home runs, you're gonna strike out.
Just a little bit, yeah. Still rocking a 901 OPS despite the hacks, and he's hoping to get his CCBL debut off to a better start than Jake Mangum, who struck out in the top half of the first, and he takes it away. Count now 1-2. Scoreboard just lagging a little bit behind us out here in Chatham.
I think this is the biggest crowd we've seen all year at a game.
Just about. Upwards probably of 100 to 250 people. The pitch. High and tight. Ashton McGee doesn't even flinch over in that left-handed batter's box. That one almost a little bit of chin music. No matter. 2 down. Man on second base. Already a run across the board. Jake Palamaki scoring on the E6. Chatham leads 1-0 over Hyannis. Now Ryan Weiss steps off the rubber just to adjust his cap. Orange-billed Hyannis Harbor Hawks cap with the beautiful little script H on it. The 1-2. Freezes up McGee. Kiss it goodbye. That's the end of the first inning. On 1 hit and 1 error, Chatham forces the first run of the game across and leads Hyannis 1-0. And now the Harbor Hawks come up for the top of the second. Daniel Robinson, Ryan Olenek, and Dakota Jalila, 5, 6, and 7. When we come back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. We're back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Thank you so much for joining us. Daniel Robinson coming up to the plate to get things started here in the top of the second. Hyannis down 1-0 against the Chatham A's here from Veterans Field in Chatham. It was a hit and then a wild throw from Donovan a wild throw from Proctor at short, I should say, as the first pitch comes in high and tight from Adam Hill on for his second inning of work.
Well, they gave the error to Donovan because he ducked away from the ball. The throw was right there.
And the 1-0, just a little bit low and inside. Count 2-0 now on Robinson.
But anyways, Robinson hitting .385 this year. He's off to a good start. He's got 5 hits already. Very, very young season.
And the 2-0 is a strike.
And you talked about OPS. His OPS is 962 right now. That's a good number.
Sure is. Following up a 2-for-3 performance last night, he sends one high in the air. That one down in left field. Palomaki ranges about 2 steps away from the warning track and catches it over the shoulder for out number 1.
Number 15, the right fielder from Ole Miss.
That brings up Ryan Olenek, the right fielder. One away here from Veterans Field. The sun really playing a factor early on. Left field and center almost completely engulfed in shadows, and now right field starting to get obscure too, as the first offering from Hill is high and outside.
I think we would have been better off to start this game cloudy.
We might have been. Chatham notorious for fog. Not a drop of it in sight today. And the 1-0 is hit in the air down right field way, out of play. Would have suited me a little bit better. I didn't see Ford Proctor sail that throw into Donovan over at first. I thought Donovan had caught it. But just the sun blinding, despite my sunglasses and yours too. The 1-1. That one in on the hands, hits Olenek. He gets a free pass to first.
The third baseman from Jacksonville.
The rangy right fielder just stretching a little bit too close to the plate, and now Dakota Jalila comes up. Runner on first base, 1 down. Hyannis down 1-0 here from Veterans Field. Chatham A's with the lead. But the Harbor Hawks looking to keep the offensive mojo flowing after really struggling offensively to start things off this season. The Bats came alive last night in a 6-2 win against the Wareham Gatemen. Now the first pitch. Cut on and missed. Jalila hacking at that one.
I like the start already. Even though they're down 1-0, they have runners on base in both innings, which was not something they could do much of during their scoring slump. So this is already a good sign.
Indeed, Reese Hampton led things off with a double. And now a throw down over to first. Adam Hill cannot get the diving Ryan Olenek. He slides back in safely. Still 1 away. A 1 count on Jalila at the plate.
1 for 3 this season.
A nice little 300 clip off that. 333, I believe. Runner goes. Throw down from Pena on a line, and he gets the speeding Olenek for out number 2. Beautiful catch and tag applied over there by Relat.
Pretty much as soon as that pitch got to Pena, it looked like the runner was going to be out, and then Pena just made a good throw. Got the jump he wanted.
And just like that, the Harbor Hawks have 2 outs here in the top of the second, and Jalila skies 1 foul down the first base line. Nick Patton ranges over towards the Harbor Hawks dugout, stretches out his glove, and makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. And Chris, that's a little bit concerning. The Harbor Hawks down quickly in the top of the second. That's a habit we saw them getting into earlier this year, where they would just let innings get away from them pretty quickly.
I don't like that they didn't score a run in the first 2 innings, but they got 7 innings left. So hopefully they can not think about what happened before yesterday yet.
Well, they have the chance to get things back on the right foot in the bottom of the second inning, trying to just keep a run off the board. Fabian Pena, Jimmy Titus, and Antonio Relat, the 6, 7, and 8, 2 up when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Hyannis down 1-0 here at Veterans Field in Chatham. The A's holding the lead. Ryan Weiss back out for his second inning of work. He'll start things off against Fabian Pena, the Johnny Bench Award watch list catcher from Manhattan. Fabian Pena, a native of Cuba, moved to the U.S. when he was about 14 years old. And now here he is playing the All-American game in a setting that's about as American as apple pie. Veterans Field with metal and a little bit of wood, I think, on their grandstand in front of us. All of it overlaid over grass. And also a nice grass little sitting surface out in the outfield as well. This field really placed in a natural amphitheater as Pena gets up to the right-handed batter's box against the right-hander Weiss. First pitch of the bottom of the second is a swinging strike. Weiss mixing in a little off-speed action.
Good pitch to the Manhattan College junior. 330 for them this year. Pena hit 3 home runs, 32 runs batted in.
And he takes another strike. That one, a fastball over the outside corner around belt level. 0-2 count. Here's the pitch. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? Yes, he did. Rick Cacciatore, the home plate umpire, rings up Pena, and there's one away.
What you like to see from Weiss early is that he has 3 strikeouts in 1 1/3 innings. It's a good start for Weiss, who gave up the run. I know it was unearned with the error, but you want to get your confidence back. That's a good way to start with a strikeout.
Weiss already almost matching his strikeout totals from his first outing against Wareham, where he went 4 innings, and he deals a first pitch ball to Jimmy Titus, who stands in the right-handed batter's box. Titus, a native of Stafford, Connecticut, was the NEC Rookie of the Year this year, and he fouls the 1-0 down the right field line into the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Count 1-1.
For us Fairfield County people, Stafford is about as far away from Fairfield County in Connecticut as you can get.
The 1-1. Breaking ball missing. Count 2-1. But Titus, no matter how far he was from Fairfield County where we were, he made his mark felt in Connecticut high school baseball. The 2-1. Hit on the ground towards short. Proctor charges in, ranging towards first base, throws on a line to Donovan, who has no trouble gathering that one for the second out of the inning. The Shadows now have extended over down to first base.
Maybe he put some eye black on.
Possibly. He needed it early on. The glare still affecting us out here in the broadcast booth. And just a little bit of it left, just a streaking diagonal ray of sun from center field all the way into right. And a breaking ball to Antonio Relat is taken as a strike on the inside corner.
Relat goes to University of Alabama, Birmingham.
And he swings at strike 2. That one, another breaking pitch. 0-2 count, and the Harbor Hawks are a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning. The 0-2. That one hit on the ground over toward Jalila. He underhands it, fires across the diamond, and it gets away from Donovan, an errant throw that sends Lott tumbling down the first base line. He's still seated. His batting helmet flew off as he and Donovan almost collided down at first base. It looks like Donovan may have tripped him up as the first base coach helps up the shortstop.
That'll go as an E5 on Jalila on the throw. So 2 errors in 2 innings for the Harbor Hawks.
Definitely uncharacteristic of a Harbor Hawks team that really had the fundamentals of the game hammered into them early on this season by Ron Polk.
We were there for one of those very times when it was hammered into them at their practice the day before his game. He tells them a lot of valuable information.
Oh my gosh, that's one thing from this Cape League that I really never will forget. And there's a lot of unforgettable facets to a league where the best collegiate players from all over the country come year after year. Like I said before this game, as we looked over the visage here from this field. I wish I had the memory to quote Field of Dreams, because it really is a field of dreams. If you build it, he will come. They will come. The best players in the country every year just settle down here in this unassuming little island off the state of Massachusetts, and they put on a show for just ravenous groups of fans that have come out to support tonight, as well as this one. About 100 or so fans.
You're going to call it 100? It looks more like 300 to me. There's a lot of people down the third base side. I can't see, though, because the sun's still in our eyes.
The sun is still very high, just a little bit over the tree line. It's descended pretty quickly, I will say. Still being tended to by the physical training staff of the Chatham A's down the first base line, just trying to make sure everything's okay. First base coach as well as head coach for the Chatham A's, John Schiffner, out there, making sure everybody's okay. And Schiffner, a legend in his own right here in the Cape. 25 seasons managing the Chatham A's and 523 career wins to boot.
There's some great coaches in our presence today with Coach Polk as well on our side of things, but both of these teams are well managed.
Coach Polk, the aforementioned stickler for the rules, and he is considered by many the father of SEC baseball. A coach for upwards of 20 years at Mississippi State University, 1,000 collegiate wins to his name. Relat stays at first base. He's okay. And now Mason Copen steps up to the right-handed batter's box. The only runner on base is Relat, reaching on the E5. 2 away. Chatham leads 1-0. The pitch. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-0 count. Lone out in center field. Fluttering lightly in the breeze. The 1-0. Golf down the first base line off the netting over there, and foul. Harbor Hawks getting the first base dugout. A little bit unusual, usually where the home team resides. But Chatham opting for the third base dugout, likely because of that glare that you get down there, as the 1-1 is served out into right field on a hop to Ryan Olenek, who immediately fires it into the infield. And the ball gets away from Leonard as he covers second base. Jalila can't range over and get it. It goes all the way to the wall down the left field line, and that brings Antonio Relat all the way to third base.
And they're going to call that an error on Olenek on the throw. So an E9. A single and an E9, excuse me. So now second and third, like Chris Lucy mentioned.
Second and third. And just like that, the Harbor Hawks are in a tough situation with Jake Palamaki back at the plate. He led things off here for the Chatham A's with a double, 1 for 1 on the day.
And 3 errors now in 2 innings for the Harbor Hawks.
An inauspicious start from Veterans Field. And the first pitch is grounded up the middle. Ford Proctor ranging over there. He fires down to Donovan, who gloves it for the final out of the inning. So no damage done on 1 hit and then the error, but still leading 1-0 off of some shoddy fielding play from the Harbor Hawks. And now we'll come back with the top of the third. Reed Leonard, Chris Proctor, and Reese Hampton, the 8, 9, and 1 spot in the order. You're listening to Hyannis Harbor Hawks Baseball on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back from Veterans Field. Hyannis down 1-0 to the home team at Chatham A's. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner. I'm Chris Lucy. We're here in the top of the second inning. Reed Leonard stepping up to the right-hand side of the plate against Adam Hill. The first pitch. A strike high and outside. Just catching the zone.
Reed Leonard looking for his first hit. 0 for 5 to start the young season.
The 0-1. Cut on and missed that one, getting away from the backstop Pena. But a bat boy comes out to gather the loose ball, and Cacciatore gives Pena a new one to throw down to his battery mate Adam Hill. 0-2 count on Leonard. Here's the 0-2. In the dirt outside. Pena blocking that one. Brings the count to 1-2.
You know, Chris, with Frank and now Stovall and Ford Proctor, Leonard's kind of been given the short end of the stick, but he does he gets a try today. It's a big fight for that middle infield.
The 1-2, and that one is grounded up the middle on a hop over to Shaw, who fires down to first for the first out of the inning. And you're not wrong, Chris. Hunter Stovall and Jake Mangum both coming in last night, and there's starting to be a few too many cooks in the kitchen up the middle, with Mangum also a center fielder, usually at middle spot where Reese Hampton has been so dominant so far this season.
It's going to be a dogfight for the short and second base positions this year. It was quiet before Stovall got here, but now there's 4 guys for 2 spots.
Chris Proctor now in the left-handed batter's box, squares around for a bunt, but sucks it back, taking strike 1. And you have to imagine that he and Dom DiCaprio will happily share the duties behind the backstop this summer. The 0-1. Another strike. Straight ball just over the outside corner at knee level.
Well, yeah, with 2 catchers, and that's certainly better than 4 middle infielders.
Exactly. Almost the perfect mix right there. Everybody catching one half of a doubleheader. Nights off, the 0-2. High and tight, 1-2. And Proctor playing on a surgically repaired knee. Definitely somebody who's going to need some rest. He only had 1 week between surgery and the CCBL opener. The 1-2. Slipped foul behind home off the netting. Count remains 1-2. Everybody playing essentially straight away. Third base in its usual spot. Middle infielders all the way back almost on the outfield grass. The 1-2. Low and away. Breaking ball misses the zone. Count now 2-2. Outfielders playing very well back, though. The 2-2. Proctor nubs it off the hands, down shortstop. Rolat backhands, throws across the diamond. Did he get there in time? No, he did not. Proctor is called safe. And that's an infield hit for the catcher. With 1 out, Reese Hampton comes up with a man on first.
Proctor's made his home at that number 9 spot, and he gets another hit. That's hit number 2 for him, so he'll raise his average for sure. It's good to see Proctor get hits. Obviously, he was hurt, like you mentioned, but it's always good to get the bottom of the lineup to get hits as well, and it just turns it over for Hampton, who's been red hot, and now there's a man on for him.
Hampton 1 for 1 with a double. He started things off. Proctor taking a big lead off at first. The pitch. In on the hands. That one towards us just catches the top of the net. And a frustrated Chris Walker next to me was looking for his first souvenir.
I thought maybe it would hit the lip and then just fall right into our booth here, but that net was too good.
The 0-1 forthcoming from Hill. Here it goes. It's nubbed down the first base line. Foul. Reese Hampton having to shake off his hand right there. That one rattling him a little bit. Chatham leads 1-0. We're here in the top of the third inning. Hyannis playing away at a beautiful Veterans Field. School bus over in right field, parked out there, signaling the end of the school year. Plenty of young kids out here today. The 0-2. That one skied over towards us, bounces off a tree overhead, but ends up someplace unknown.
Tonight's the night. We're getting one tonight.
Chris Walker calling it right here.
I'm putting my glove on.
Too young.
I'm ready.
Two young fans running in front of us.
I will fight them for the ball.
As if to mock you, Chris. The 0-2 to Hampton, forthcoming. Here goes. That one's hit on a line right down to second base and snared by Shaw, who throws back to first and catches Proctor sleeping for the final out of the inning. That's a double play. An unlucky break for the Harbor Hawks. Proctor taking a bit too big of a lead off of first. And on the liner from Reese Hampton, he's frozen. And just like that, the Harbor Hawks on one hit leave nobody on base and head now to the bottom of the third. Josh Shaw, Jacob Olson, and Nick Patton, the 2, 3, and 4 due up when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back from Veterans Field. Chris Walker, my broadcast partner. I'm Chris Lucy. Josh Shaw leading things off here in the bottom of the third inning. Chatham on top, 1-0. Ryan Weiss still working out there for the Harbor Hawks. Run on the board, unearned. Now he steps on the rubber. That unearned run coming on an E6. And the first pitch is sent on the ground and through for a base hit down the right side. Josh Shaw now 1 for 2 on the day.
Well, with the sunny weather, as more hits are coming. As we saw yesterday, there were really no hits until the 6th when the Harbor Hawks broke through. But there's been plenty of hits for both teams to start this game.
Exactly. Plenty of strikeouts for Weiss, too. Already with 3 Ks on the day. He comes to the set against Jacob Olson. And the first pitch is a check swing from Olson, but it bounces in the dirt, and that's ball 1.
Olson struck out looking in the first, like you said. The strikeouts are starting to pile up already.
Weiss has been almost, I wouldn't say dominant, but pretty close to it. It's too early to use words like that as the righty squares up the righty. The 1-0. Hit high and deep down in left center field. That one's going all the way to the wall. And the catch is made by Reese Hampton on the warning track over the shoulder. A phenomenal catch from Hampton. He made it look easy, but Chris, he had to range all the way over from dead center field over into Robinson's territory to make that play.
That one had the sound, too, of a home run. I thought you were going to get our first home run of the year call. But Hampton robbed you.
No, sir. Hey, I'll take it. Hampton really ranging over to the right in front of the 357 marker in left center field. One of the deeper parts of the ballpark.
I was just going to say before that great play that the 3 errors have prevented this from being a dominant start for Weiss. But that certainly makes up for it because that was easily a double and probably more if Hampton didn't hurry over there.
In from Hampton keeps Josh Shaw on first base. One down here from Veterans Field. Here comes Nick Patton at the plate. And Patton 0 for 1 on the day. However, he did reach base on that E6. Runner goes. Patton swings and fouls it off into his own dugout on the first pitch. 0-1 count, and Olsen has to retreat to first. Shown there. Hampton's play made all the more valuable by the fact that Nick Patton is dangerous enough on his own, but with a runner in scoring position, he really is a terror. 2 home runs already on the young season. The 0-1. Check swing. They look down the third base line.
You know, this is the second time that the home plate umpires made the call saying he went. And it just brings up the question, can the home plate umpire tell if you went? If you're watching the strike zone, how do you know?
Exactly. The sun's starting to play a more diminished role in things now, as it's just about halfway away from being below the tree lines. The tip of the sun still shining in on our home plate umpire, Rick Cacciatore. Tom Ryberg down the third base line, been doing a great job, though, checking on those swings, as the 0-2 is flip foul behind home. Count remains 0-2, runner on first base. And there goes the sun. It finally retreats behind the tree line out in left field. Chatham on top, 1-0 here from Veterans Field against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Well, that makes things better for us, I think, mostly.
Indeed. And Weiss throws down to first base, keeping Shaw honest. He led things off with a single. Slight breeze here in Chatham, known for fog. Usually when there's no breeze, there's some fog, but even this small little bit, keeping the white stuff at bay as it has engulfed the Cape all week. The 0-2. High and outside. 1-2 breaking ball missing.
And that means it'll cool off more than usual because it's clear out, but it's nice to have weather where you don't have to have it cold down. You can roll them up a little bit.
No, that rain jacket you're wearing, not necessary for tonight, but taking every precaution as Nick Patton waves and misses at the 1-2. That's strike 3, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
And 4 strikeouts for Weiss. Again, a very good start. I like Weiss's pitching so far. Again, there's been a lot of errors, and that's how the run scored. It was unearned. 4 strikeouts means that he's got good stuff.
Well, hey, if he can't even get them to put the ball in play, he can do it all by himself out there almost, as he squares up the lefty McGee at the plate, who takes ball 1 low and away. 1-0 count on McGee, runner on first base, 2 down. Play to the easiest base as the middle infielders communicate a little bit up the middle, both on the outfield grass. Throw back to first, and Shaw slides in safely.
They're really preoccupied with Shaw. And, you know, he wasn't known particularly for his stolen bases at St. John's this year.
No, but somebody who can get himself on base. 16 walks on the season. Was an everyday player out there. 1-0. A strike. 13 doubles and 63 hits overall for Shaw as well. So somebody with deep field power and consistency at the plate. 1-1 count on McGee. Another throw down to Shaw. He's got his foot planted firmly on first. Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. Chatham on top, 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Pitch. Low and away. 2-1 count.
I wonder if Ashton McGee's related to JaVale McGee.
Doesn't look like it, but JaVale McGee on top of the basketball world right now. Part of the champion Golden State Warriors. The 2-1. That one, nubbed foul behind home, bouncing off the brick backstop, and about 15 feet separating home plate from the backstop here at Veterans Field. It is cavernous back there.
Man, it's 30 feet.
30 feet.
From home plate to the backstop.
Wow, double what I thought.
It's 30 feet.
Either way, Weiss is one strike away from ending the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. The 2-2 is in the dirt. Proctor making a nice block. He's got to make sure nothing gets behind him, or that could be a base or two for Shaw.
I know I haven't seen a field like this since I can remember. They had a 30-foot backstop behind home plate.
Interesting, and we thought Harwich had a big backstop. However, this one here at Veterans Field taking the cake. Now the payoff pitch. Hit on the ground down first base side, foul. Shaw goes on the throw, but now he has to jog back. Infielders is playing it pretty straight. Now that there's a 3-2, Donovan isn't holding Shaw on base, and our middle infielder still on the lips of the outfield grass. The 3-2 pitch, runner goes. That one served foul down the left field line, out of play.
Shaw's getting a good workout from all these fouled 3-2 count pitches. This is the second time he's run. He's going to run again.
He sure will. As if you need that after playing and starting in 55 games in your collegiate season. But everyone out here to get a little more work. The 3-2 runner goes, strike three. A nice little curveball from Weiss, finally shutting the door here on the bottom of the third. One hit, that's Shaw. He's stranded on first, and now we go into the top of the fourth. Jake Mangum, Ford Proctor, and Brendan Donovan. Three guys in search of their first Cape League hits when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chatham leads 1-0 from Veterans Field. Welcome back from Veterans Field. Chris Lucy joined by Chris Walker. Just over to the right of the broadcast booth. We're at a table just behind home plate. A front row seat to some great action here. Game 6 of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks season, taking on the Chatham A's. A West versus East division matchup from Veterans Field.
You know, Chris, I really like how you mentioned it's like an amphitheater. It's like a natural bowl on this field. I love how the fans can sit on the grass out in the outfield. It reminds me of the Little League World Series.
That out there in Williamsport, Jake Mangum stands at the left-hand side of the dish, and he fouls the first offering from Adam Hill near our broadcasting position here, but it goes off the netting, despite the disappointment of Chris Walker and his outstretched hand.
Disappointed indeed.
Still looking for that first foul ball. You'll get it, Chris. 0-1 now on Mangum in search of his first CCBL hit. He serves one out into left field. Diving to make a play is Palamaki. He can't get it. It bounces off of his glove and rolls right in front of him. However, he's right up, throws it into second base where Shaw gloves it. And just like that, Mangum is on first with his first CCBL hit of the season.
It's a good time to get that first hit, too, after the team has stranded more runners with one out and by way of the double play. And it's a leadoff hit, the second time in this game it's happened. So certainly a good thing for Mangum to come on this team today and get himself a hit to lead off this inning.
Maybe that's the nudge Ford Proctor needs here in the left-handed batter's box. Righty Hill on the plate, on the mound, and runner goes. Mangum is gunned out by Pena. on a rocket of a throw. Nice tag applied by Relat, and we spoke too soon, Chris. There's one away.
What a throw by Pena. He's got 2 for 2 with stolen base opportunities in this game. And everybody on Hyannis has been put on notice. Don't steal.
No, sir. The 0-1. A strike low and on the outside corner count 0-2. And Pena threw out 36% of runners in his college season.
That should tell you right there. Don't do it.
No. Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. The 0-2. Sent high in the air down center field way. Coppins on the warning track puts up his glove and makes the catch for out number 2.
Chris, there's Ford Proctor hitting a ball to the warning track again and just hitting it in the wrong place on this field. As we've mentioned all season, Proctor's been hitting the ball very, very hard. He's just not getting lucky.
No, he's not. Grounded out to second base in his first at bat. He's still in search of his first hit. And Brendan Donovan takes a first pitch strike just down the heart of the plate.
Proctor now 0 for 13 on this season.
Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. The 0-1. Cut on and missed. That one, a breaking ball in the dirt. Getting a wide, wild hack from Donovan, who's down 0-2 with 2 outs. Chatham on top, 1-0. Nobody on base. The 0-2. That one bounces in front of Pena, who tries to get up and block it, but it goes all the way to the backstop. No harm, no foul. Nobody on base. 2 down. Only runner of the inning for the Harbor Hawks was Jake Mangum, but he was caught stealing. Here's the 1-2 from Hill. High and tight. Fastball missing. Count now 2-2.
It's been more of the same for the Harbor Hawks so far, Chris. We thought maybe they would break out after yesterday's win, but they're on the brink of going 4 without a run here.
And Donovan fists one foul behind home, out of play. Count remains 2-2. Hale to the set. The righty from South Carolina deals. A pitch that's sent high down the left field line. Jake Palamaki ranging over towards the wall. And he makes the play for the final out of the inning. 1 hit, but that's Jake Mangum, who was thrown out trying to steal, so nobody left on base. And now we head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Fabian Pena, the man with the gun, Jimmy Titus, and Antonio Relat, 6, 7, and 8, due up when we come back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy, my broadcast partner, and me, Chris Walker, my broadcast partner. That's almost a Phil Rizzuto, Frank White kind of mistake right there early on. We got it, though. We got it. Chris Walker to my right. I'm Chris Lucy. And Ryan Weiss on the mound for his fourth inning of work. Deals a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Fabian Pena down in an 0-1 hole.
5 strikeouts already for Weiss. He's got his best stuff tonight.
He sure does. And the next pitch is fouled off the backstop. Pena in an 0-2 hole.
He's working. His fastball looks good. His breaking pitches look good. And he's got the strikeouts to show for it.
He sure does. Fastball, curveball, and slider in his arsenal. The 0-2 slapped foul into the net behind home. Count remains 0-2. Pena staying alive.
And, of course, only 3 innings in to his outing. He's got those 5. So, good stuff. All of our starters have been great so far this season.
And the next pitch is low and away for ball 1, wasting one. Count 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Golfed high in the air down right field. Ryan Olenek calls everybody off, ranging in. He gloves it for the first out of the inning.
You know, Chris, before Pena made the out, I just wanted to go back to the coming over from Cuba for Pena, because I just thought when we were doing our research today that was so intriguing. I mean, country like Cuba with all their problems they have, especially with the United States. I mean, that's just an incredible journey. And here he is, like you mentioned. That's just such a cool story to have a guy like that make it all the way up here.
And the first pitch to Jimmy Titus is low and away for ball 1. And to that effect, Chris, you know, that's what makes baseball such an American pastime, the 1-0. Low and inside for ball 2. It's just the fact that the American dream is so alive and well, even out here in the CCBL. You have a kid come in from Cuba. Not sure how much of the language he knew coming in at 14 years of age, but he's got himself all the way to Manhattan College. He's a business major. The 2-0 is a strike at knee level. Nice breaking offering from Weiss. 2-1, 1 down. And to just come so far, 2-1. Check swing, strike 2. To come so far from a tough situation and to come all the way to the Cape just shows the American dream is alive and well, and that just shows how great the American game truly is. The 2-2. High and just a little bit outside.
That was a close pitch. Good spot from Weiss on that fastball on the outside corner.
Indeed. The payoff pitch now. Caught on and missed. That a looping curveball from Weiss, and Titus goes down swinging.
Boy, that was just, as you mentioned, a great curveball. Started to break. It all looked like it was going to hit the bat. Got right into the strike zone, got him the swing. Big uppercut swing, and that's strikeout number 6.
And here's Antonio Relat, 0 for 1 on the day. However, reached base on an E5. Takes the first pitch strike over the inside corner. Count 0-1. Relat, thankfully okay after a dangerous-looking play down at first. The 0-1. Strike 2. That one a fastball. Weiss spotting up very well. Ahead 0-2 with 2 outs. Chatham still on top, however, 1-0. And the next pitch is grounded right in the middle off the of Weiss. Ford Proctor tries to field it off back glove, but his throw down to first does not come in time, and Relat is on base with a single.
The center fielder from Northeastern University.
And sometimes you don't want to, you just instinctively as a pitcher put your hand up to try to stop the ball, and sometimes you do more harm than good. That's what happened there.
More harm to your hand than worthwhile either, especially for a pitcher so close, only 60 feet and 6 inches from some of the best hitters in the country. And now there's a runner on first base. It's Antonio Relat, and Mason Coppins, the center fielder from Northeastern, stands in the right-handed batter's box and waves at strike 1. 0-1 count. Natural light still enveloping the field down here at Veterans Field. Chatham on top, 1-0. The sun now below the tree line, so, but beautiful baseball and no glares to get things as Weiss throws down to first.
And no fog, as we've had the past 2 games, 3 games, if you want to include the doubleheader.
No, and no fog, as Chatham is notorious for. Timeout called.
Now, this has been one of our nicest evenings of the season for baseball, for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. About the nicest we've seen since Hyannis dropped game 2 of the season to Brewster, a 6-1 loss at McKeon Park. Yeah, one. That one slapped off the net behind home out of play. 0-2 count. And Weiss, once again, 1 strike away from ending things here in the bottom of the 4th. Doing so against Coppins. No stranger to New England. Won a New England championship playing baseball at the Salisbury School, where he went 21-0 there as a senior. And the 0-2, he checks his swing but doesn't go around, and that's ball 1. Runner on first base. Chatham still on top 1-0. That run unearned, however. Runner goes to second base. Get the out. Antonio Relat caught stealing by Chris Proctor, who ends the inning for the Harbor Hawks. There's 1 hit, but with the caught stealing on Relat, nobody left on base, and now we head to the top of the 5th.
The Chatham Anglers.
We'll be back with that. Daniel Robinson, Ryan Olenek, and Dakota Jalila due up when we return. You're listening to Hyannis Harbor Hawks baseball on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Chris Walker and myself, Chris Lucy, joining you from a gorgeous Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts, where the Anglers lead the Harbor Hawks 1-0. And Chris, we were talking about this during the break. Impatience really plaguing the Harbor Hawks as Daniel Robinson steps up to the plate.
Well, you're 100% right. It's plagued them all season except for yesterday until the 6th inning it did as well, but they're just not waiting on the right pitches. They've got to start going deeper in the counts.
And Robinson does not wait a second to swing at a first pitch and club it down the left field line. He turns around first base and stops up at second as Olsen fields it in the corner. And a leadoff double as we bite our tongues here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
What do we know? We're just the broadcasters, right? We say one thing, the other thing happens. I don't care. It's still a good hit.
The Harbor Hawks in a good position and brings John Schiffner out to home plate to have a word with Rick Cacciatore. No pitching change apparent, no change in the lineup either, but just a quick discussion. Ryan Olenek stands at the right-hand side of the plate now with Robinson on second base. The righty Hill still on for his 5th inning of work. And Olenek sends it over the outstretched glove of Nick Patton at first base. And Robinson comes around all the way from second to score on a little bloop single. And just like that, we're tied at 1 from Veterans Field.
Well, that's exactly what we needed in Hyannis, and it's 2 quick swinging at bats. Make us eat our words, but it's still a tie game, so we'll take it.
Hey, the more we talk, the more these guys listen and just throw it up in our faces. Now Dakota Jalila up at the dish, 0 for 1 on the day.
Take that.
So will the Harbor Hawks. Knotted at 1 with the A's now. Jalila scores around for a bunt. Olenek goes, and just as we've seen all day, Pena guns him out. 3rd runner caught stealing today, and that's a quick out. 1 away here from Veterans Field.
I hope there's some scouts here looking at Pena behind the plate today. Nothing but good things, at least with his arm.
Really? He's been impressive. 0 for 2 at the plate, but that arm behind home really something of a marvel. Now Jalila ahead 1-0 in the count, takes a pitch that and slaps it down to short. Ralat gobbles it up on 2 hops and throws across the diamond for the second out of the inning.
You know, Chris, what happens with the catcher when that happens is he's like, you want to try to go now? Just try. He wants people to try to steal because he's hot right now. So he loves it when people try to steal on him right now because he's just going to gun everybody down.
The hot hand, Chris Proctor throwing somebody out today too. Reed Leonard at the right-hand side takes a first pitch strike from the righty Hill. Everyone playing straight away. Now 2 down. And the pitch. Check swing from Leonard. Doesn't go all the way around. 1-1 count. That pitch low and away.
So already now 5 hits for the Harbor Hawks. That's something good.
Sure is. 1-1 tie as well. The Harbor Hawks didn't have coming into this inning, and the next pitch is bounced in low and away. 2-1 count.
And they've scored the only earned run of the game.
That's right. The only run scored by Chatham coming across the plate on an error. Now the 2-1. That one just a little bit high. Over the heart of the plate, though. Fastball missing. 3-1 count now on Leonard. Seems like these kind of games have just followed us around, Chris, as the next one is in on the hands of Leonard. He grounds it down to second base, and Shaw gobbles it up, throws to first for the final out of the inning. So, on 2 hits, Hyannis gets a run across, but strands nobody on base as Olenek is caught stealing. And now we head to the bottom of the 5th, where my friend Chris Walker will take over the play-by-play duties. Hyannis and Chatham tied at 1. We'll be back after a quick break on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth. We're outside, but it's a beautiful, beautiful night here at Veterans Field in Chatham. This was one of the more fun drives that I've had over to a field, an away field, right down Main Street from where we live. Just straight shot down Main Street here to Chatham. You got to love it. And it's just nice driving on. You see a little bit of the water, all the shops, and some good baseball. Here's the bottom of the 5th, just about set to get started. Top of the order coming to bat for the Chatham A's. It's Jake Palamaki. No, I'm such a liar. That's one mistake. Just Dylan Porcaro next to me. Just write down one mistake for me. It's Mason Coppins, the 9-hitter, coming to bat. I did that whole intro, and it meant nothing. First pitch is a call strike. Now, I know why that happened, because the throwdown by Proctor ended the inning, and the at-bat from Coppins has already started, so I didn't fill it in my book. But it is an 0-1, and now 0-2 as it's fouled off the plate. And it's 0-2 to the 9-hitter, who's 1 for 1 on the day.
Probably not too thrilled to see Weiss again come out for his 5th inning of work. 6 strikeouts already on the day for the righty.
It's been a good stuff day for Weiss.
Seriously.
And the 0-2 is fouled off into the netting, and it's still 0-2. And last game for Weiss, he only went 4 innings. He was on the 50-pitch limit. And he still made it through 4 innings, which says a lot, but he's pitching into the 5th for the first time this season. And that's called strike 3 right down the middle. And that's number 7.
Chalk that up to 8 on the year for Weiss. We look back, he had 1 strikeout in that debut against Wareham. A 3-0 win for the Harbor Hawks to start off the CCBL season.
Got to be impressed with Weiss's pitching today. And it's a 1-1 game. He hasn't allowed an earned run with the error to the first baseman, Donovan, because of the sun. And now it's Palamaki's turn as the lineup turns over for the 3rd time, and the first pitch misses low, 1-0.
In Donovan's eyes as Patton came down the first base line, and Ford Proctor's throw just sailed.
This one grounded softly right back to the pitcher, Weiss, who throws on the first in time, and there are quickly 2 away.
Just as the Harbor Hawks were being a little bit impatient, now we see Weiss again working quickly to get through the Chatham A's lineup.
Now, I want to get to a point you were going to bring up, Chris, before the inning ended last half. These games seem to follow us around.
Seriously, these quick games. I mean, we're already through 4.5 innings, and only an hour 15 minutes have passed.
To Josh Shaw, who's 1 for 2, misses for a ball 1-0. And you're right. I mean, we won't complain. It's been pitcher's duel after pitcher's duel, which is fun baseball, and it makes everybody work for their hits and their runs even more. It is grounded towards second, fielded by Leonard, throws to first in time, and a 1-2-3, bottom of the 5th, leaves us tied at 1 as we head to the 6th on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. On the Harbor Hawks Digital Network, Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing it to you live on a beautiful, beautiful evening here in Chatham, Massachusetts. The new pitcher for the Chatham A's is Bo Burrup out of BYU. Chris Lucy is going to tell you more about him.
Coming in at a mean 6'5", 225 pounds, Burrup's pitched an inning and 2/3 this Cape Cod League season. Hasn't allowed an earned run yet, but in 26 games pitched down at BYU, he had 39 strikeouts, went 4-3, and in 45 1/3 innings pitched, had a .298 batting average against him.
So the final line on Adam Hill, he went 5 innings, gave up 1 run, he gave up 5 hits, not walk a batter. Not a bad evening for the starter Hill. Solid 5 innings, but it gave his team a chance to win.
Only needed 1 strikeout as well.
And this is Chris Proctor, the 9-hitter. He's 1 for 1. Only his second at-bat of the game coming here in the 6th. And that just speaks to the type of game we've had. It's just been another pitcher's duel. We're very, very used to seeing these low-scoring games, at least till the very, very late innings.
Seriously. And mainly it's the Harbor Hawks not doing the scoring.
The 1-0 is called strike 1. And we're even at a ball and a strike to the 9-hitter and the catcher, Proctor. Proctor got his second hit of the season last at bat, and he's got his third hit of the season right there. And the catcher is 2 for 2 to start the 6th.
The center fielder, number 13, Reese Hampton.
Good little piece of hitting right there, just finding the gap down the right side and exploiting it.
Gotta like the 9-hitter, Proctor, the catcher, being 2 for 2 today. And that certainly puts a little bit more pressure on Dom DiCaprio, who, and he had such good numbers at 366 this year. It puts pressure on him to get going for sure.
It really does.
And a snap throw to first after pitch number 1 missed to Reese Hampton. But back in time as Proctor. He got caught off first in the 3rd inning. But I was going to say, the better catcher is going to play. That's the simple fact of the matter. If Proctor's healthy enough, he's going to play more.
That's true. He's going to get the bigger starts, but everyone really getting their fair share of playing time here in the CCBL.
Bunt put down but foul by Hampton. Hampton is 1 for 2. He had a double to lead off the ballgame back in the 1st.
I mean, these coaches, they have to respect the fact that these kids are out here for a reason, and if they're not sending them home, they have to get them innings. They have to get them on the field.
And one of those big reasons is to have fun. It is summer ball. It's not your college season. You can with it. So you're right. You got to give him semi-even time. And here's a bunt placed down by Hampton, and it's a good one. The throw on the first is in time to get the speedy Hampton, but he does his job, and the sacrifice is successful. Moving over to second is Proctor, and with 1 out, there's a man on second for Jake Mangum.
Sacrifice play, a lost art in a lot of baseball, and honestly, sacrificing yourself for the good of a team in a lot of places is missed.
And to reward the batter, it doesn't count as an 0-4, which is certainly good. So still 1 for 2 is Hampton. That brings up Mangum, as we mentioned. He's 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a base hit back in the 4th. That was his first with the team. And another bunt laid down the third baseline. That's perfect, and that's just a great bunt single for Mangum. He's got 2 hits tonight. And now it's first and third as Proctor moves to third. First and third, 1 out. Ford Proctor will come to the plate now, but how about that bunt?
Seriously beautiful. And Mangum showing off that he has a little bit of speed to go with the pop in that bat, and didn't even need to show the pop in the bat right there.
So Bo Burrup is in a bit of trouble here. As Ford Proctor still looking for that first hit, 0 for 13 on the season. We'll try to drive one in here. A sac fly works too. First pitch is outside, looked like the slider, and it's 1-0. Out for Proctor here, and the Harbor Hawks as a run would give them the lead. It's standing just 90 feet away in Proctor.
Knotted up 1-1 here from Veterans Field.
The 1-0 on the way to Proctor, and it's a breaking ball called strike 1. A lot of ones on the board. 1 out, 1-1 count, 1-1 score.
0 earned runs still on behalf of the Harbor Hawks. Those runs unearned.
You got to think as the throw goes over to first that if the sun wasn't out, if it looked like this now, back in the first inning when the run scored, it probably would be 1-0 Hyannis. You can't say that for sure, but the sun did play a big part in that error.
He just couldn't see the ball as it was coming from Proctor.
Runner goes. The throw down is not in time to second base as Mangum has second base stolen, and that really helps out the Harbor Hawks as that double play is going to be a lot harder to get. Second and third just 1 away, and the pitch missed. It's 2-1. Sorry, Chris.
What confounds me about that, Proctor just stays put at third base.
Yes, I thought maybe a bluff play was going to happen where the catcher would throw to the shortstop and they try to catch the runner, but Proctor just stayed right where he was. Home on.
It would have been, and with Pena, there's no such thing as a free pass to second base, as he's thrown out a couple of runners today.
The 2-1 is outside, 3-1. So Chatham is in danger of loading the bases with 1 out. And if I were Proctor, I'd rather have a hit because if you get on base, it sets up a force anywhere nowhere. 2-2 on the way from Burrup, and it's ball 4. It's outside. It was 3-1 in my book. Well, now they say it's 3-2. I had 3-1. Did you have that?
I was just trying to count how many times Pena has thrown people out. It's been 3 times today. Looks like we have a bit of a confusion.
Our writer, Dylan, had a. It doesn't matter because this one is driven to deep right center field, and it is gone. The first hit of Ford Proctor's season is a 3-run home run. Home run of the season for the Harbor Hawks, and they lead 4-1.
Patience is everything, Chris. As we were saying, Ford Proctor seeing a couple of good pitches early on in that at bat, however, laying off them and just waiting for one he could drive. And boy, did he take a big rip at that one, about 320 feet out to right field, at least the part where he was hitting, 314 down the line. He kind of got that into right center, but finally getting that first hit.
As Donovan takes a pitch low, not only does the monkey jump off the back of Proctor, that makes up for it. That was the biggest hit of the season for the Harbor Hawks right there to break the tie and give them a 3-run lead. His called strike 1 is dealt by Burrup, but how about that for your first hit? A 3-run shot.
To be expected from the All-Star.
This one is in there for called strike 2. They count 1 and 2. And we have to remember that he was an all-star, and this is what he does. He gets hits and gets big hits. And that was certainly the biggest hit for the team, as this one is swung on and missed by Donovan. He goes down on strikes. The first strikeout of the day for Burrup, and there are 2 away.
And you like to see him early on setting the tone for the offense here for the Harbor Hawks. I mean, when you're the only returning position player for this very team coming into the season, you want to see him set the tone. There he goes.
Daniel Robinson steps up to bat and takes called strike 1. Robinson scored, and he had a double to lead off the 5th inning. He also flew out to left back in the 2nd. Everybody hitting again today as this pitch misses. It's 1-1, and that was the theme yesterday. It took the same amount of time. Here we are in the 6th, and finally the Harbor Hawks break through. Maybe that's their lucky number.
Perhaps.
This one is lined sharply into right field, but foul into the dugout of the Harbor Hawks. That just hooked foul. Looked like it was going to be big trouble at first.
Looks like backpacks of one of the Harbor Hawks pitchers out there in the bullpen.
Well, they're right. It was right in their laps. Now they get the souvenirs. Now we need one.
Hey, when you play baseball as much as these guys, I'm pretty sure a dirty old baseball really kind of loses the luster that we
They
hold
want
for
this
it.
clean one that we have in our
yeah.
booth.
A beauty. That's what they call a pearl.
Yes. A pearl. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss at the big breaking ball from Burrup, but not before the 3-run home run by Ford Proctor unties this game. It's 4-1 Harbor Hawks at the end of 5.5. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 4-1 Hawks on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth here at Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts, where the Harbor Hawks lead 4-1 over the hometown Chatham A's. The final line on Ryan Weiss, this is a good one. 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, but that was an unearned run, and 7 strikeouts.
Leading off for the Anglers, the right fielder
For the Harbor Hawks opening day starter, he's had 2 starts, and he hasn't allowed an earned run in either of them. The new pitcher is for the Harbor Hawks, is Davis Vayner, and Chris Lucy has more on the new pitcher.
Well, Vayner, coming to you from the University of Alabama, standing at 6'1", 180, has appeared once in the season against Brewster. He surrendered 1 earned run in that outing, 1 inning pitched.
The first pitch to Jacob Olson, who's 0 for 2 today, is a swinging strike 1. Looked like the off-speed pitch to start Vayner's night. As the lights take more of an effect here at Veterans Field. That one bounces before it gets to Proctor. It's a ball 1-1. But full setting for a baseball game. It's just getting better and better as it gets darker here.
I've heard this field described, at least by the past play-by-play guy here, as a Norman Rockwell painting. Very suitable.
It really is. This is Cape. It's just like if you want to picture Cape Cod or the Cape Cod League, take a picture of this stadium right now.
Seriously.
As the count goes to 2-1 on Olson, and the 2-1 is grounded foul, third base side. And the count is even at 2-2.
Props to Coach John Schiffner down the third base line, not flinching at that foul ball. It was a ripper right near him, too. But after 25 years in this league, you've seen that once or twice.
The 2-2 from Vayner is driven out to left field. Under it is Robinson, and he makes the play for the first out of the inning.
The first baseman from the University of
4-1 Harbor Hawks off the 3-run home run by Ford Proctor. His first hit and first home run of the season to untie this one last half inning. As Nick Patton digs in, he's 0 for 2. Reached on an error in the first and struck out swinging in the third.
Harbor Hawks, the only team so far this season that have really found an answer for Patton, who came into this game batting .556. 2 home runs to boot.
Hopefully they can keep it that way as he steps up here. First pitch from Vayner is low, 1-0.
Patton, of course, part of a groundbreaking Delaware team that made it to the Lubbock Regional this year and took 2 perennial powerhouse programs down to the wire.
Second pitch is low for a ball, 2-0. Now Vayner, Chris, allowed a run in his 1 inning pitched in his previous outing, so his ERA is at 9, which just because you allowed 1 run in 1 inning. But he did walk a batter. It wasn't his best outing. Gave up 2 hits, looking to bounce back. He's already got 1 out. 2-0 count here to the dangerous Patton. And that's a called strike 1 off-speed pitch. The off-speed pitch looks good from Vayner.
It sure does. And his command is pretty good, too. Been able to spot up pretty well and spotted up well for Alabama this year. 44 strikeouts to only 26 walks.
The next pitch is another breaking ball strike. That's some good numbers right there.
When you can throw that breaking ball for a strike, that really helps your numbers, like you said.
Right, if your fastball's not good, just go to the breaking ball. And with 2-2 count, he does that again, and swinging and missing is Patton. That's his second strikeout of the day, and there are 2 outs here. 3.
Came in with a lot of hype, but, some nights it's just not your night.
No, the night belongs to Ford Proctor to this point.
Seriously. And before then, it belonged to Ryan Weiss.
Again, the starting pitching for this team, the Harbor Hawks, has probably been some of the best in the league. And even though they're 2-1 to start the season, I mean, it's just been very impressive. Every night you're going to get a good outing, at least 5 innings from your starting pitcher, and most of the time not giving up a run or only 1 run.
It's been a blessing for the Harbor Hawks to be able to just shoulder that offensive struggle on some great pitching.
Ashton McGee down 0-2 quickly as he fouled that one out of play, third base side, right towards where my car is.
Look out. That's my ride home, too. Both of us driving CRVs, the CRV Army, in a little bit of trouble.
That's right.
Facing some shells right out here.
I know, and I got the old one. The 0-2 is low and away, 1-2. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Harbor Hawks lead at 4-1. The 0-2 from Vayner is in the dirt. It's 1-2. No, now they changed it to 2-2. That's what I had on my book. I shouldn't go by that scoreboard.
It's been struggling tonight, just a little bit.
For sure.
Had to reset several times. But, you know, we're out here to get better. So are the players and game day ops people as well.
Still early.
Exactly.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes McGee on strikes. That's the second strikeout of the inning for Vayner, and that's the end of the 6th. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. At the end of 6, it's 4-1 Harbor Hawks over the Chatham A's on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside the booth. The Harbor Hawks lead the Chatham A's 4-1 thanks to Ford Proctor's 3-run home run back in the top of the 6th inning. Ryan Olenek comes up to bat. He's been caught stealing twice. Thank you, Chris Lucy, for letting me know that. He is 1 for 2, or excuse me, 1 for 1. He was hit with a pitch in the 2nd inning, both times caught by Pena. He lays down a bunt here, and a very good one, as nobody's going to get there. The pitcher, Burrup, had to get the ball, but the first baseman, Patton, also converged on the ball. Nobody was standing on first, so it's the second hit of the day. 2 for 2 is Olenek, and I would imagine he probably won't try to steal here.
No, certainly not. He's learned his lesson. Mom said, don't steal. Who knew she was talking about baseball, too?
I know. Good one. That was a good one.
I tried.
Dakota Jalila, 0 for 2. Digs in here, and they're going to throw over. I mean, maybe they'll send Olenek. Third time's a charm, as they say, but I don't know. I wouldn't count on it with Pena. He's 3 for 3 with runners trying to steal. And Burrup will fake Olenek back to first. He's got a big lead.
He certainly is not at a loss for confidence down there.
Pitch number 1 is another bunt, and another beautiful bunt as Burrup fields and fires just in time. The sacrifice once again is successful. Olenek finally makes it to second base, and there is 1 away.
The second baseman, number 10,
I've really loved the use of the sack bunt in this game from the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Well, I mean, Coach Gassman really has to try everything and anything to get this offense going, as it was absolutely dead silent for the first 4 innings, and since it's come to life.
Small ball is the name of the game today for this team, and it's worked, as well as the long ball, but they've gotten a lot of runners over by way of the sack bunt and a couple of bunt singles, as we just saw one there by Olenek. And we, now forgive me, it was Mangum who had the first one.
Yep.
To get the rally really going in the 6th inning, as Reed Leonard is ahead 1-0 here. With Olenek off second, the pitch is called strike one.
Bit of a West Coast offense running for the Harbor Hawks. A few little dinky hits here and there, setting up the long one.
So 1-1 to the 8-hitter Leonard. Olenek off second. Dancing off second. Trying to play games with Burrup, and it's a check swing. And not going around was Leonard. The count 2-1. Olenek is very, very daring. A lot of guts to take the big lead that he has off of second. And he's really playing games with Burrup because he keeps looking back at him. The pitch is grounded right back up the middle. Playing there was Relat, and he makes the throw over to first. Moving to third is Olenek, and there are two away for Chris Proctor, who's had a day, 2 for 2, and a run scored.
Easily his best day out here on the Cape since that opener against the Gateman, where he was just outstanding behind the plate and has really been a stalwart when he and the pitching staff have been able to be on the same page, as they have been tonight.
He'll get his chances with the man on third and Olenek trying to drive in a run with 2 away in the top half of the 7th. Beautiful night. Beautiful evening in Chatham.
Breathtaking indeed.
First pitch is an off-speed pitch, swung through and missed 0-1. You know, it really is. It's a really pretty night here. And it's still pretty warm. It's great baseball weather.
Just a little bit of a nip in the air starting to come now that the sun has completely left us here.
The 0-1 to Proctor is served into left field, and it falls for a hit and an RBI. 3 for 3 is the catcher Proctor. And add an RBI to that list. He's 3 for 3 with a run scored and a run driven in. Have a day, Chris Proctor. And it is 5-1 Harbor Hawks.
He even threw Antonio Relat out stealing in the 4th as well. So both next to the dish and behind it, he has really made an impact on this game today.
And once again, the Harbor Hawks tack on a run. They've scored in 3 straight innings after not scoring in the first 4. We thought we were going to see more of the same from them, but it's just a continuation of yesterday right now. It's 5-1, and here's a ground ball towards second base. Shaw's got it and throws on a first to get Hampton. And that is how the top of the 7th ends. But the Harbor Hawks add on another run on the RBI single from Chris Proctor, and it's 5-1 Hyannis over Chatham as we go get up and stretch before we head to the bottom of the 7th on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside the booth here. It's the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker, Chris Lucy. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed the Harbor Hawks scoring in 3 straight innings. They lead 5-1 over the Chatham Anglers on a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday night here in Chatham. Davis Vayner remains on
Number 30.
for the Harbor Hawks, and that brings up Fabian Pena. He's 0 for 2. He's thrown out 3 runners, but he is 0 for 2 hitting. See if he can get off the schneid today. 2 strikeouts to end the inning for Vayner in the bottom half of the 6th. And it's been the story of the day as there have been 9 strikeouts by Harbor Hawks pitchers today. It's a good number. First pitch is called strike 1. That breaking ball is certainly working for Vayner in this outing. It's 0-1. Vayner pitching from the stretch at all times as this one is popped up into right field. On the run is Olenek into foul territory. He can't make the play as he ran over the mound in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks, and it's just a loud foul ball. 0-2 the count to Pena, who's lucky gets another swing.
Bounced off his glove out there in the right field foul area. Looks like he might have just been a little bit surprised by the fact that the ground elevated.
Right, that does shock you if you're just running and you're not paying attention, but he almost got there. And 0-2 count.
Love the hustle, though. Summer ball, he's really giving his all.
Right, he's shaded a bit to his left. He's closer to right center. The 0-2 is low. A ball and 2 strikes to the 6 hitter and the catcher, Fabian Pena. We talked about his story and how he got to America from Cuba earlier at age 14. The 1-2 is fouled straight back off the net, and the count remains 1-2. 5-1 Hyannis leads over Chatham from the bottom of the 7th. From Veterans Field in Chatham, Mass. The 1-2 from Vayner is a breaking ball grounded towards the middle. The field and the fire is not in time by Leonard. It took Donovan off the bag, and it's an infield hit for Pena, and that gets him off from the 0 for 2, and now he's 1 for 3 with Jimmy Titus up. Now he's 0 for 2 as well, and they'll score that a single, as it was a tie regardless of if Donovan was on the bag or not. Tough play for the second baseman, Leonard.
Exactly, and again, fighting for his lunch money out there as Hunter Stovall looks on from the first base dugout. Mississippi State second baseman, known for a phenomenal glove.
So the DH Titus takes up and in for ball 1. Titus hitting 300 this year, 3-4-10 before entering this game, now 3 for 12. Pitch is cut on and missed. It's 1-1 now. Good breaking ball. That breaking ball from Vayner's really been working. It's got 2 strikeouts already in just 1+ innings of work. So the 1-1, another breaking ball fouled off, and the count is 1-2. This one out of play near the blockhouse down on the other side of the grass here at Veterans Park.
9 strikeouts in this game. Chris has really upped the pace. We're not even 2 hours into this, and we're here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Make that 10 strikeouts for the pitching of the Harbor Hawks, and the 3rd of the day for Vayner, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 7th. 1 out as Antonio Rolat comes to the plate. 1 for 2. Reached on an error and had a single back in the 4th. But yeah, moving right along. Even with the 5 runs from the Harbor Hawks, it's only 8:47. The game started at 7 o'clock. That's fast to get through almost 7 innings.
Sure is.
First pitch is grounded towards the hole and through for a base hit in right field. Holding up at second is Pena. Now with 1 out, Rolat has his 2nd hit of the day, and there are 2 on with 1 out for Mason Copens.
Number 31, Mason Coppins.
Again, a big hole developing between the first baseman Donovan and Leonard, just on the right side of the infield. Leonard shaded up the middle, and now he's holding on the runner at second base, so that hole will still be there. And Chatham just taking advantage. A nice piece of hitting there from Rolat.
Absolutely, and the double play is still set up for Hyannis. It looks like they'll remain at double play depth as Leonard is still at his double play depth spot deep in the hole at second and shaded up the middle. Proctor is back as well, so they want to turn 2 here on the 9-hitter Copens, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Pretty much everybody in this lineup has a strikeout for Chatham. His pitch number 1 misses for a ball. The only guys that don't have a strikeout are Rolat and Shaw. And the leadoff hitter, Palomaki. So 6 out of 9 have struck out today. And Ashton McGee has 3 strikeouts. He's got the hat trick. First and second, 1 out. And the 1-0 from Vayner is fouled off the net. And the count is 1-1. 5-1 Hyannis over Chatham. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing it to you live here in Chatham, Massachusetts. The 1-1 on the way to the 9-hitter. And Vayner's ready. The pitch is grounded towards third and gets through for a base hit. Coming around to score and scoring, standing up, is Pena. It's an RBI single for Copens. And it is 5-2 Harbor Hawks.
The product of the Salisbury School, 2 for 3 on the day, and just the kind of thing that the A's needed to wake themselves up. They'd been dormant since the first inning, and now with only 1 out, they have 2 ducks on the pond.
Man, that's the 3rd hit of the inning off of Davis Vayner. And that brings up the leadoff man, Jake Palomaki, who doubled to lead off the game and scored the first run for this Chatham team.
Almost got the impression that up to this point, really, the A's had kind of been asleep at the wheel, and hard not to when you're dealing with such tough pitching, but Ryan Olenek got on in the previous inning with a defensive miscommunication that just shouldn't have happened.
Right, and they were kind of down and out, and things weren't going their way, but here we go. 3 hits in 1 inning. They've got a run across, only 1 out, and still 2 men on, as you mentioned. So, tying run is at the plate right now as misses for a ball, 2-0 to the number 1 hitter, Palomaki, who is 1 for 3 today. So anything can happen in baseball. We know that. Vayner ready. The pitch is a bunt, and it's foul. 2-1 now. That went foul, third base side. Picked up by Josh Shaw, the on-deck hitter.
Ripping it out of the Harbor Hawks playbook with the bunt.
And why not? You'd probably want to be bunting for a single here with 2 on and 1 out, because moving the runners over would only do so much, because that would be still 2 away, and he can't score on a ground ball. This pitch misses as well. It's 3-1. And Vayner is in danger of walking the bases loaded here.
He needs that control to save him. Throw that breaking pitch for a strike.
The mosquitoes are out. I just got bitten on my elbow, if you care.
Our viewers at home don't have to deal with that, fortunately.
No, nobody home at second base as Vayner turned to throw. That would have been disastrous if he threw it into center field. Then things really would have gotten dicey as Proctor comes to talk to Vayner about signs.
Hey, even a 5-2 lead isn't safe out here.
No, not at all. I mean, one swing of the bat ties the game here. It'll be a 3-1 when Vayner is ready. And the pitch is called strike 2. Big pitch for the righty. And it's a full count.
That was a get-me-over fastball right there. He needed to get over the hump, and now to the 3-2. Vayner can maybe get a little bit crafty. He'll need to be.
His breaking ball has been excellent. If he can throw it for a strike and get a swing and a miss, he'd do himself a big favor here. So, 3-2. The pitch is fouled back towards us. Will we get a ball? No. Goes behind us.
I think I knew the answer to that one before you even spoke, Chris.
Well, I thought maybe it would get a branch and just plop right into my hand here, but I was to be denied again.
What are you going to do?
And it will be another 3-2. Here's the pitch. It's grounded towards first. Vayner's got a cover. He gets over and steps on first just in time for the second out. That's a big play for this Harbor Hawks team and for Vayner. It goes 3-1 as Vayner had to hustle. The runners do move over. It's second and third with 2 outs for Josh Shaw, who's 1 for 3, but that's a big out.
And again, as I said, Chatham a bit asleep at the wheel with Olenek getting on with that bunt single when that base could have easily been covered. Vayner really got off to a late start to get towards that ball, and thankfully for the Harbor Hawks, he was able to come to his senses in enough time to just barely get the speeding Palamaki.
So that'll be it for Vayner, and we'll have a new pitcher in this ballgame. We're going to talk all about him after a short break here on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Don't go anywhere. Told you we'd be right back, and we have a new pitcher. It's Ethan Larison. He's seen a lot of action, Chris. Talk about him.
Well, he pitched last night down in Wareham, the 6'2", 205-pound right-hander out of Shelbyville, Indiana, playing his college ball at Indiana State. And he pitched himself 3 1/3 innings against the Gatemen, and to great avail as well.
You know, it's good that Coach Gassman can start to see who he can trust to pitch in big spots, such as this one with 2 on and 2 out. And Larison is one of those guys. 3.1 innings. He's got that ERA at 5.40, but he gave up only 1 run yesterday. And I've been impressed. We were both talking about how impressed we were with his stuff. We'll get you Vayner's final numbers. I know it was 1 2/3 as Proctor will go talk to Larison. Are the responsibility of Vayner, so he could be on the hook for 3 earned runs at the end of the day. He's given up 1 so far. And this is Josh Shaw, the 2-hitter. 1 for 3 on the day in a big spot. He is the tying run right now at the plate for the Chatham A's. Pitch number 1 on the way. It's an off-speed pitch outside and high, 1-0. So Chris has the final line on Vayner.
Vayner, 3 strikeouts and also 3 hits surrendered in this one. Those runners on base, his responsibility, also surrendered 1 earned run in his trip to the mound today.
You know, he had that good breaking ball, but in the 7th, in this inning, he gave up 3 hits, and that really plagued him. And He did get the second out, but Coach Gassman feels better with Larison in there to get the big out. Another guy that we might see at some point is Christian Tripp. I said it right. But I did speak there before the game. He said he was good to go today. He did pitch yesterday. But you never know.
Exactly, that we see both Larison and Tripp come back to back. Tripp, the imposing righty out of William & Mary.
And in person, right up next to him, he's even taller. As the pitch misses, it's 2-0. I just met him downfield side, and I just looked up. I'm only 5'7", so you can imagine my neck is sore.
He's got a full foot on you.
Absolutely. 2-0 is fouled off first base side, out of play, 2-1 for the new pitcher Larison, and his first at bat not coming in an easy spot. Trying to make it work here. Hyannis up 5-2 on Chatham in the bottom half of the seventh. The game has slowed down. We have reached 9 p.m. The 2-1 is fouled off first base side, out of play again, and it's 2-2 as about 20 kids go running after that ball down the hill.
Parental supervision not required here in the CCBL. Have fun, kids. Don't get hurt down there.
Be a 2-2 offering from Larison to the two-hitter Shaw. 2 on, 2 out. The 2-2 is swung and hit on the ground towards short, and there's no play. Going home and getting caught now is Copens. They've got him tagged, and that is the final out of the inning. So I'll tell you what, 1 run scores on the infield single by Shaw, and then Copens tried to score. He got caught very badly by Proctor, who didn't throw the ball. Copens thought Proctor threw the ball to first, and they had him. He was a dead duck. It is 5-3, however. The Harbor Hawks do lead at the end of 7. That was quite an eventful inning. We'll sort it all out a little bit more and come back in the top of the 8th and tell you more about it on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network, and the new pitcher is R.J. Freire from Burlington, Ontario. Chris Lucy has more on number 33.
Coming in at 6'0" and 210 pounds. He's one of only 2 pitchers on the Chatham A's roster that has not thrown a pitch in the CCBL yet this season, but in his freshman year at Pitt, he went 4-1 with a 4.74 ERA in 38 innings pitched.
He's going to face Mangum, Proctor, and Donovan. And the first pitch to the DH, Mangum, is away for ball one.
Command, one of Fury's strong suits, 46 strikeouts.
Yeah, only 20 walks. Good stuff. Swing and a miss by Mangum. Mangum is 2 for 3, 2 singles, runs scored. He did strike out in the first, but he's made his presence felt right away.
He sure has. Speed, too, on that bunt single he had in the top of the 6th.
The 1-1 is called strike 2 on the outside corner, and the count is 1-2 to the 2-hitter. Which means Bo Burrup's day is over, and we'll get his final line. Wasn't a very good final line, but we'll get it for you. 1-2. Pitch on the way from Mangum. Off-speed pitch was way upstairs. It got back to the backstop. The bat boy for Chatham has to go back and get it. It's 2-2. It's 5-3 Harbor Hawks over Chatham. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing it to you live from Chatham. Beautiful night here on the Cape. The 2-2 is just a bit low, and the count runs full. This is probably one of the nicest nights that I've experienced on the Cape. Just weather-wise, and just the baseball atmosphere here at Veterans Field is just outstanding. Swing and a miss, strike 3. High heat gets Mangum his second strikeout of the game, and there's one away in the 8th.
Final line on Burrup. He pitched 2 full innings on 4 hits, allowed 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts, and big part of why the A's are down 5-3 here at Veterans Field.
Still a game, very, very much a game.
Indeed.
Only a 2-run lead for Hyannis. They led 5-1 at one point. First pitch to Ford Proctor, who untied this game in the 6th with his 3-run home run. The pitch was high for a ball. 1-0 is also outside, 2-0. And that's got to feel great for Proctor.
Oh, of course.
The 2-0 is called strike 1 inside corner. It's 2-1. He was 0 for 13 to start the season. Now he's 1 for 14, but that 1 was a 3-run home run.
Hit it tonight, too. That was absolutely huge.
The 2-1 is served at the shortstop, Rowlett, and what a catch by Rowlett. And that's the second out of the inning. He leapt high in the air to make that catch.
Well, hey, the Puerto Rican native, a veteran of the U16 basketball team in Puerto Rico, showing off some hops right there, snaring that one midair.
He timed it perfectly, too. He waited until the last second, leaped. Made a great catch on Proctor, and that brings up Brendan Donovan, 0 for 3 tonight. And he digs in here. Pitches a called strike, 0-1. So Donovan yesterday was 0 for 3 with a walk, and he's 0 for 3 today. Still getting that cleanup spot in the order. As this is called strike 2, it's 0-2.
Really didn't cover himself in glory in the field either with that error, albeit it wasn't really his fault. Still, tack to him.
0-2 pitch is grounded towards first. A good hop for Patton, and he gets to the base in time. And that's how the top of the 8th ends. Unassisted. We head to the bottom of the 8th. It's 5-3 Hyannis over Chatham. But first, a word from Chris Lucy.
And this one's about Curry College. You can earn a master's or bachelor's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. That's Curry College at curry.edu. More from Veterans Field after a quick break on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back. This is the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing it to you live from Chatham, Massachusetts. 3, 4, and 5 are due up for the Chatham A's. Olson, Patton, and McGee. And this is the heart of the order. This is a good test for Ethan Larison back out there for his second inning of work. He came in with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, so he's only pitched 1/3 of an inning.
Innings over 2 days, though.
It's a lot of work. 1-0 is the count. The 1-0 to the 3-hitter is fouled back 1-1.
And we have a lineup change out at first. That would be Brant Stallings, a defensive and likely off replacement too down at first base for Donovan.
So it'll be a 1-1 to Olson. Larison pitching from the stretch all the time. Deals here a check swing. And they check down to first, and he did not go around. It's 2-1. I got to give a quick shout out to one of our writers. His name's Dylan. He's sitting to my right. He's keeping all of the game stats on loose leaf paper. I give you a lot of credit for that.
Take some keen organizational skills to be able to understand that. I couldn't do it.
Has made the trip to every away game. This one popped up way up there into the night. Coming over is Stallings. He makes the play, and that's the first out. Olson is 0 for 4. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters are a combined 0 for 10 in this game. That brings up Nick Patton.
Patton, the biggest surprise out of that heart of the order, being 0 for 3, coming in with just such a fearsome batting average.
And 2 strikeouts so far. Pitch is swung on and missed. It's 0-1. Patton 0 for 3 today. Harbor Hawks lead 5-3 over the A's. The 8th. I believe we have another change in the lineup to announce after the 0-1. It's low 1-1.
That would be, we spoke a little bit too soon about Donovan coming out of the game. Dakota Jalila is out of the game, and Donovan has been moved over to third base.
So Stallings still at first.
Stallings still at first.
Okay.
No Jalila anymore. He's at third base.
Called strike 2. So it's 1-2. Now, does that mean, how does that change the lineup? Jalila comes out. Does Donovan take over for Jalila, or does Stallings? I would imagine Stallings would at bat.
I imagine it would be a switch out of Stallings and Jalila in that 7th spot. Yes.
The 1-2 is grounded towards short. Proctor over to first, in time to away.
Chris, Donovan's still in the game. He's not been removed from the batting order. The batting order honestly doesn't change unless you have a complete and total switch in the field and someone goes to the bench.
So the old, just a weird switch by Coach Gassman, keeping us on our toes.
Keeping John Cabral on his toes. Our friend in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks front office helping us suss out these lineup changes.
Here is Ashton McGee with 3 strikeouts. We called it the hat trick before. It's 1-0 now. And you certainly don't want the golden sombrero, which is 4 strikeouts.
Certainly not. Coming off a college season where you hit almost 10 home runs as well. Be a rude awakening to start the summer.
The 1-0 is swung through. It's off speed. It's 1-1 to the 5-hitter. 2 strikeouts looking and 1 swinging.
A complete will bring him the innings pitched over the last 2 days, and he's showing no signs of being tired. Impressive.
Looks very good.
I'll say.
1-1, swing and a miss again, and it's 1-2 to the 5-hitter McGee.
Length like that out of the bullpen might very well earn him a start somewhere down the line. Many of these guys coming out of the pen do have rotation aspirations. Starting pitching is where the money is.
1-2, breaking ball off the outside corner, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And especially in a summer league, you can see if you could start games. You've been a reliever in college or you've been a starter in college, and you're a reliever here. You want to earn the respect of your coach and get those starts, and it's a fun time to do it. 2-2 on the way. The pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's the golden sombrero for McGee. 2 looking, 2 swinging. It's a 1-2-3. Harrison, and no runs score for either team in the 8th. We head to the top of the 9th. It's 5-3 Harbor Hawks over the A's on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy once again has something to tell you. This has something to do with Chatham.
This, suitable for a night here down in Veterans Field, is a little plug for Chatham Bars Inn. Visit the Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world, Chatham Bars Inn, an official sponsor of the CCBL and the 2017 Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
So in the 9th, for Hyannis, they will send up Robinson, Olenek, and Stallings. And Robinson today is
The left fielder, number 19.
1 for 3 with a double.
Been a good 2 games for him.
Fruere is back in there for the 9th. And the pitch is up and away. Ball 1.
2 for 3 last night for Robinson, 1 for 3 today. Really been an invaluable part of the offensive rebirth.
This one fouled back closer to us off the top of the net. And I don't think I would win anybody over by saying they should lower the net.
Nope. I feel good and safe here. I leave you to your souvenir shopping. You'll get one eventually, bud. Patience.
1-1, and that's called strike 2. The 1-2 fouled straight back again. Robinson scored on the leadoff double in the 5th. But he's down in a hole here, 1-2. Breaking ball. Ooh, that's just off the outside corner, and the count's even 2 balls.
Robinson showing some athleticism out in the field with a few dazzling displays over the last 2 days down left.
The 2-2 is fouled off just a piece by Robinson.
He's a versatile athlete. He's a 4-year letter winner as a quarterback in high school down in Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan. Grosse Pointe North High School. Grosse Pointe North High School. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Much like our friend Christian Tripp, who you've had a little bit of trouble pronouncing.
I think after I met him, it got easier. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Finally, Robinson loses the battle. Good battle, though, between him and Fruere. Brings up Ryan Olenek, who is 2 for 2 with a run scored, and he was hit by a pitch. Has been caught stealing twice.
Over 2 on the base paths, as I said, yeah. Overall, a good night for him. Came around to score in the 7th.
First pitch is swung on and missed. 0-1. Olenek looking for hit number 3. The pitch is fouled off first base side out of play. 0-2. We're in the top of the 9th. It's 5-3 Hyannis.
Olenek, as you mentioned, hit by a pitch earlier today. Be the 9th time between this and his college season that he's been hit by a pitch. The 6'5" outfielder.
Just crowd the plate a bit.
Exactly. When you're 6'5", you got pretty long arms. Just wearing them on that front shoulder.
The 0-2 missed. It's 1-2. Fruere in the stretch. Breaking ball is grounded softly towards short. Ralat throws, and he got him by half a step. The throw was low. Patton, and there are 2 away.
Those stretches down at first will come in more handy than you imagine, Chris. Really a valuable tool down there when your first baseman can just get you that extra inch you need to avoid the tie.
Brant Stalling, first baseman.
Brant Stallings will get his first step out of the game. Stepping off the mound was Fruere.
Hit on the season. 11 at bats.
Pitch is high. Fruere's looked good in his 1 2/3 innings. He's only faced 5 batters, and that's how many he's gotten out as well. The 1-0 is low. Everybody who listened to our game today. We are going to be back tomorrow at home at 6:30 against Wareham again. The game is the 2-0 is in there for a strike. You'll be able to watch our live stream. That'll be back up on YouTube like the one you're watching now. Won't just be audio. Tell if we're actually telling the truth.
And you'll be able to see us on our post-game show.
The 2-1 is fouled off the net, 2-2. Yes, you will be able to see us on our post-game show, and that should be fun.
Should be fun. You'll have us with a produced post-game show after every Hyannis Harbor Hawks home game, and we've been planning a little something special for the away games too.
Called strike 3. Ring him up. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Fruere, and down go the Harbor Hawks in order, and we head to the bottom of the 9th. It's last chance for Chatham. They trail 5-3 to the Harbor Hawks on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back to the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy getting set for the bottom of the ninth. The new pitcher for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks is Christian Tripp. And Chris Lucy has more on him.
Tripp pitched an inning and a third last night, recorded a strikeout to end the bottom of the eighth, and then another strikeout to end the ninth of a 6-2 Hyannis Harbor Hawks win over the Wareham Gatemen, that being his season debut. And the 6'7" right-hander means business, standing at 220 pounds. He struck out 26 and only walked 9, playing for the Lobos down in New Mexico.
That's good stuff. Here we go. Fabian Pena digging in. Titus and Relat against Tripp. First pitch is low for a ball 1-0. Pena is 1 for 3 with a run scored. And the 1-0 is hit on the ground through the third base side for a base hit. Rounding first and staying there is Pena. He's 2 for 4, and the leadoff man is on, bringing up Titus, who is the tying run.
Titus, no stranger to big moments, and no stranger to hype either. 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year award winner down in Connecticut. First player ever to win it in back-to-back years, being 2015 and 16.
So Tripp getting into a little bit of trouble here. Only up 2 runs. This is the tying run at the plate in Jimmy Titus, who's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And Tripp deals low 1-0. We talked about Tripp being 6'7", full foot taller than me. Breaking ball called strike. It's 1-1.
Not only makes him intimidating on the mound, but also just tough to keep track of his delivery. You're standing 60 feet, 6 inches away.
And a miss. It was foul tipped into the glove of Proctor. And it's 1-2. And it's very different when you get a guy 6'7" up there than a guy 5'10" or even 6 feet. The ball just comes up from so much higher, and you could put so much more spin on it. And this one is a slider low and away, 2-2.
We have some real tight spin. That first offering we saw, just with a lot of depth.
So the count even at 2-2 to Titus, and he fouls it back into the netting, and the count still 2-2. We're in the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-3 Hyannis over the 4-1 Chatham A's. The 2-2 is fouled off, out of play, first base side down the right field line. And right on cue, some of the kids, they're all still here. Go for the ball. Either today or tomorrow is the last day of school.
Yep, that school bus parked out over in right field will be getting just a little bit lonelier than it looks now.
Fouled off again, as we will do it again, 2-2. This time it goes all the way back toward the parking lot.
No cars safe out here. Those cars are parked pretty far away, and yet still foul balls just peppering that area.
So we'll do it again. Tripp ready for the 2-2, and it is fouled off, out of play again. First base side down the right field line. Out of play.
They're making Tripp work. Was working last night, and Coach Gassman giving him the ball now, but you have to watch out for that pitch count just to make sure that the big righty doesn't get too tired, because you slip this late in the game with a 2-run lead. Could be fatal.
And they're losing a lot of baseballs. The 2-2 is a bit low. I thought they were going to bring him up, and it missed just a bit low. We're 3-2.
Chris Proctor losing track of that one as well. Couldn't find it as he ripped off the mask and was just feeling around on the ground to find the ball. That one dropping out of his glove.
I feel like if he caught that and framed it, would have been strike 3.
likely would have been. Now it's a full count. This is dangerous territory for Tripp.
Tripp will look back Pena to first.
Pena, if anybody should know not to go down and try to steal, it should be him. It's been a death wish for most of tonight.
Time was called. And we're back. And a very soft throw to first by Tripp, just to show Pena that he's over there. This is a big pitch in this game. A walk puts 2 on with nobody out, and an out is obviously huge for Hyannis. The 3-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Tripp wins the long battle. And there is one away.
And now Tripp can really just take a deep breath. When you get a big full count strikeout right there, you just keep the man on first base. You don't put somebody in scoring position, and attacking a guy like Relat will be difficult enough as is. So a weight off of his shoulders, definitely doing him well.
That was a 10-pitch at bat with Jimmy Titus. His pitch 1 to Relat misses for a ball. 1-0. 3 strikeouts for Titus today, all swinging. He will likely end his day 0 for 4. So 1 on, 1 out for Relat, who's 2 for 3. As this one is skied into shallow right field, nobody will get it. Going to second base is Pena. It's a bloop single, and there are 2 on for Chatham with 1 away. And the winning run is Mason Copens, and he steps up here. The tying run is at first base.
Copens, not who Tripp is looking to see at the moment right now. 2 for 3 on the day.
And we will have a visit to the mound, and Coach Korn is out there to talk to Tripp and the rest of the infield.
Coach Korn, with some pro experience, spent time working for the Chicago Cubs organization, and really is somebody who could just take command of a situation, as he was once the athletic director of Elizabeth High School in Elizabeth, New Jersey, the largest high school in America.
Yeah. Now, Rick Cacciatore is out there to speak with, well, he was there to break up the mound meeting, and that was a very, very long mound meeting. He seemed like he wanted to join in on it more than break it up.
You got to talk with as well. I've had many a conversation with Coach Cord down on the sidelines. Easily one of the more welcoming faces in the Harbor Hawks dugout. If anybody should ever find themselves lucky enough to get on a field, I definitely bark up his tree.
So here is Copens with 1 out and 2 on. And Tripp deals. The bunt was shown, but it's called strike 1 anyways. Copens is 2 for 3. 2 singles and a strikeout looking.
A vote of confidence for Tripp out in right field as well. No action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen.
So the 0-1 is grounded towards first. It's foul, and it'll be 0-2 on the 9-hitter. Stallings made a good effort there.
He wants to steal that before it goes foul.
Absolutely.
If it's anywhere within range, you pluck that ball right up before it goes beyond that foul line and get a quick out, because your big righty needs one.
0-2 the count on the 9-hitter Copens. Tripp, and time called. Tripp trying to get out of trouble here. 2 singles have put first and second with just 1 away. Big spot here. The 0-2 is fouled right near the dugout of the Harbor Hawks and just on top of it in the netting, and we'll do it again. 0-2. A lot of foul balls off of Tripp in this inning already. I mean, just making his pitches, and the batters are just, they want this.
They're staying alive for sure.
The 0-2 is just low and away, and the count is 1-2. That was a close pitch.
Oh, and definitely a demoralizing one for Tripp right there. He turned around thinking that he had strike 3, and that prolongs this at bat. One pitch too long for the big righty.
1-2. Grounded right back at Tripp. This could be 2. He's going to throw very, very low to second. They do get the out. And there are 2 away. Tripp made a low throw. If that went into center, that would have been trouble. But they get Rolat. Pena moves to third. We don't have to worry about him. That's the 4th run. That would make it 5-4. Kopens is at first by way of the fielder's choice. The lineup turns over to Jake Palomaki, who is 1 for 4, 2 on, 2 out. And that was a big out.
Oh, but that was a huge missed opportunity by Tripp, hopping that one into second base. Luckily for him, Proctor made a nice stab out the dirt.
Strike 1 there as it's looked at by Palomaki. The good thing is that the runner at third means nothing. It would just be 5-4. You can give up a run here and still be leading.
But that deep field power from Palomaki definitely of concern when you have a runner on first.
And it gets away, but bounces right back. It got away from Proctor. And a bunt was shown. It was a weird play all around, and it's 1-1. And moving to second is Kopens. So it's second and third, 2 outs.
And that was a complete miss from Christian Tripp right there, sending that one almost into the batter's box down on the left-handed batter's box. Complete miss, and a nice heads-up play by Proctor, fielding that one right off the brick behind home.
1-1 is the count. And that's called strike 2. So it's a 1-2 count, and the Chatham A's are down to their final strike here in Chatham. Two on, 2 out, 1-2 the count. Tripp trying to put the Harbor Hawks to 3-2. The 1-2 pitch is low. Proctor dropped the ball. And the count is 2-2. Pena, it leads off second. Pena off third. Kopens off second. The 2-2 is fouled off in our direction, but over the press box here to our left. The kids are on it, as you can hear.
Jumping a mile at the sound of contact. Anything in play is very much so of note, with a 2-run advantage for the Harbor Hawks with 2 runners in scoring position.
Another 2-2 from Tripp. It's fouled straight back. Palomaki stays alive again. Another foul ball.
I see a few rally caps poking out from the Chatham A's dugout. The dugout very, very active and into this game.
They are 4-1 these days. They know about winning early. Hyannis trying to go to 3-2-1 on the young season. Tripp trying to get them the win. Here's the 2-2. It is just off the outside corner, and the count runs full. So the drama level gets turned up a little bit. It'll be a big payoff pitch. Three and two the count to the leadoff hitter, Palomaki. Tripp deals. It's fouled off out of play again, third base side. And we'll do it again. Nobody wants to give an inch. And Tripp has gotten foul ball after foul ball here in the ninth. A lot of long at-bats. He will most certainly be inactive tomorrow, at least from a pitching standpoint. 3-2. It's a full count. The pitch is upstairs, ball 4, and the bases are loaded for Josh Shaw, who's 2 for 4 with the tying run at second base.
Josh Shaw.
The winning run is at first now in Palamaki.
And you have to wonder if fatigue is starting to play a factor here. Shaw, the sixth batter this inning. Still no action in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. A little bit late for that now. Coach Gassman going with his man for the ninth. He has to ride this decision out.
Drama is at a high right now. 5-3 Harbor Hawks, 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth. The first pitch is guarded right at Stallings at first. He steps on the bag, and that is the end of the game. The Harbor Hawks come to Chatham and defeat the 4-1 A's by a score of 5-3 and improve to 3-2-1 on the season.
What a finish down here at Veterans Field. Christian Tripp loading the bases, and not a total fault of his own. The A's really putting up a fight at the plate, forcing him to make pitch after pitch. He had to hit his spots and earn the 3 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Hawks. Tripp is able to get the job done, and just like that, Hyannis is above 500.
We'll be back in a few minutes to talk about this. On the rest of the post game, we'll talk about everything that happened tonight right after this on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy and Chris Walker, that's me, are back with you. Chris Lucy's going to tell you one more thing this time about Cape Cod Healthcare.
Well, Chris, what's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, a proud sponsor of the CCBL and of the 2017 Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
So, Chris, 5-3 Hyannis wins. They go to 3-2-1. Chatham falls to 4-2 on the still young Cape Cod Baseball League season. But it got started very, very similarly for the Harbor Hawks as it did yesterday and as it has for the rest of the season, for the beginning of the season, with no runs in the first 4 innings, but good pitching for them in the first 4+ innings. More of the same.
More the same for the Harbor Hawks in that they were able to get a dazzling performance to start things off from Ryan Weiss, who would end up striking out 7. But some characteristic poor decisions in the field for the Harbor Hawks to start things off. The E3 on Donovan on the missed throw from Proctor. A little bit of sunlight getting a problem in there, but that brought Jake Palamaki to score and put the Harbor Hawks behind the 8 ball to start things off. They were down 1-0 until they were able to scrape a run across in the 5th, and then that big 6th inning was key, and what a breakout for Ford Proctor. His first hit of the 2017 CCBL season, a 3-run home run to put the Harbor Hawks up front.
And that ultimately put this game away because that would prove to be the winning run scoring, which would have been the 4th run for the Harbor Hawks, which was one of them driven in by Proctor. What a game for him, as you mentioned. And it just gets the monkey off his back. He went 1 for 4 today, but the one was the big one, the first home run of the season for these Harbor Hawks as well. And then in the 9th inning, Christian Tripp, who pitched yesterday, had to come in and deliver a gutsy effort. He loaded the bases, got out of it. Houdini. Talk about the effort of Tripp in these last few games.
Exactly. He pulled it out. He pulled a rabbit out of his hat with the A's, fighting him tooth and nail on every pitch, every bat, every at-bat, fouling pitches off, just working counts. He fought through about 3 full counts, did our big righty on the mound, and through all of that, he was able to keep his composure and in a huge situation down here at Veterans Field, shut the door, get the save, and put the Harbor Hawks above 500 for the first time since opening day.
Well, Chris, we've been on the road for the past 4 games, and it'll be nice to be home tomorrow night against a familiar opponent in Wareham, who the Harbor Hawks are good against. They're 2-0 against them, and they're coming in on their first win streak of the season of 2 games, beating a very, very good Chatham team. That's a 6:30 start at McKeon Park. What are you looking forward to tomorrow night?
Well, one thing we can look forward to maybe is the first hit of Dom DiCaprio. You have to imagine with Chris Proctor getting the nod behind home plate tonight that the big man out of Rice will be on the hook to home plate. And, you know, after batting .336 in his college season at Rice, he's gotten off to a bit of a slow start here in the CCBL. Has yet to get his first hit despite having been out here for a few days and getting 7 at-bats in the meantime.
Chris, who's your player of the game?
Well, player of the game has to go to Ford Proctor just for that huge homer that he had that put the Harbor Hawks out front and finally broke him out and made him look like the all-star that he was last year.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and listening tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:30 start at home against Wareham. For Chris Lucy, I'm Chris Walker. Thank you so much for listening. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.